Here's Simba. He wants me to let you know to be super careful when you're doing your holiday shopping this year. Let me tell you why.
Stella, Splash, Simba, Boo, Sammy, Richard, Nancy, Goldie, Ziggy, Ringo, Eva, Hydrox, and Ditto, the Lucky Ferals.
Good morning, Stella. Something has happened to me 5 times over the past 2 weeks at 4 different retailers. How you doing, Boo? It started at Best Buy where I made a purchase on Prime Day. And then, like 3 weeks later, I was looking online and I noticed that they had the same exact item on sale for $100 less than what I paid. I was like, okay, this is not right. But I knew Best Buy had a price match guarantee. So I contacted them online, and you have to do like an online chat thing. And the representative on the other end of the chat was completely clueless. She kept telling me that I purchased an item that was different than the one that I purchased, and I had to keep telling her, no, here's the link. This is the one. And she kept sending me a different link. And I was like, no, I don't know what you're looking at. This is the one I'm talking about. Finally, after basically instructing her on how to do her job, she refunded me $100 plus tax for the price difference. So that was the first time it happened. The second time it happened was at Target. So I had purchased an artificial Christmas tree there about 2 weeks ago. And I thought the price was good. The original price was like $85 for a 7.5-foot tree. It was on display. It looked great for that price. And on top of that, it was 30% off. So the price was like $59.50. So at that price, I was like, well, how can I not give that tree a try? I've tried an artificial tree, I think it was like last year, and I had to return it because it was like pre-lit and some of the lights weren't working. But this was an unlit tree. So I said, okay, so there's no lights to not work properly. I could put my own lights on it. Like, that's great. Well, the other day, I just happened to stop into Target on the way home, and I was walking past their Christmas section, and I looked at the trees, and I noticed they had a lot less trees there. So I walked around, and I saw what looked like the tree that I purchased still on display, except this time it said it was 50% off, and I did some quick math and realized that it was almost $20 cheaper. Thankfully, I was able to open up my Target app and look at the receipt, and sure enough, same exact tree, and I paid quite a bit more money for it. So what I did was I went to customer service, and I asked them if they could price match the new price. I showed them the new price, I showed them what I paid on the receipt, and she said, yeah, we could do that, no problem. So I ended up getting almost $18 back. And while that transaction was happening, I heard the women online behind me saying that they had no idea that you could do that. They didn't know that Target matched prices, or that if you bought something at Target and then the price went down within the next few weeks, you could actually get a price adjustment. So they were really happy to learn that information, and I was happy to get the price adjustment. So I ended up getting a 7.5-foot unlit artificial Christmas tree for only around $42. The next time that it happened was at Kohl's. So I had purchased a few items at Kohl's a week ago, and one of the items I needed to return. So I decided to go to Kohl's early in the morning as soon as they open and return the item. But when I was there, I decided to look at one of the other items that I purchased to see if maybe I wanted to get a different color, or just to see if maybe it was on a better sale. Sure enough, I found it. Most of them were sold out, but the ones that were there were on a better sale. And it was like $10 less than what I paid. So when I went to customer service to do my return, I asked them if they could do a price reduction since the other item that I purchased had been lowered in price. Now, I did not need to bring the item in because they had the information on the receipt that I was using for the return. So what they do is they actually process it as a return and then a new purchase at the new price. So I ended up saving almost $10 on that item. And then last night I was on the Macy's website, and I was looking to place an order for some Christmas presents. And I was looking at some prices, and I was going to buy some clothing, but I didn't know if the clothing actually looked like the photos on the website, and I didn't know how the sizes were going to be, and I wanted to try some stuff on. So I decided, you know what? I'm just going to get in my car and go to Macy's. It's 10 minutes away. Let me just go there. It shouldn't be too crowded because at night, like an hour or two before they close, it's usually not too crowded. So that's what I did. One of the items that I was looking at online was on sale for $17.99. And when I found it at the store, I went to purchase it, and it rang up as $24.95. So I was like, wait a minute, on your website and in your app, it says $17.99. So I opened up the app, I found the item, and I showed it to them. And they're like, oh, okay, we'll match that price for you. So they matched the price for me, and I ended up saving like $7 on that. Then I decided that I could use some new socks. So let me find their sock department, which they moved, and I had to find it in ladies' handbags. I don't know why they put socks in handbags, but they do. So they didn't have the socks that I wanted that were supposed to be on sale for $9.99. But underneath, like where their sock display is, they have several drawers. Now, I used to work at Macy's years and years ago, so I know that like they might put overstock in certain areas. So I opened up one of the drawers and I found all of the overstock for the socks. And they didn't have the socks that I wanted, but they had the same exact socks, just in like multiple colors. I just wanted to get white ones, and then they had like multiple colors. So I was like, okay, these look great. These are actually even nicer because I could use some, different colors. And the first thing I did was I looked it up on the app, and they were on sale for $7.50. It was like a super clearance, 60% off. And I was like, wow, that's an even better price. Let me get 2 packs of these because I never saw these socks go on such a good sale. So I take them to the register, and they ring up as $13.99. So once again, I was like, I'm sorry, but the app says that they're on sale for $7.50. And the cashier, I don't know if she was new, but she really didn't know like what to do. So I said, can you price match that for me? She had to call over another cashier. I guess maybe he was either a manager or more experienced. And he price matched it for me. So instead of paying $13.99 for each bundle of socks, I paid $7.50 for each bundle of socks. So if I add up all of the money that I saved by price matching at Best Buy and Target and Kohl's and Macy's, we're talking like $150. So make sure when you do any purchasing this year that you check your prices online versus in a store, and then check your prices again if you have an opportunity to do that to see if the prices have dropped. Because in all of my years of shopping, I've never had so many price adjustments in such a short amount of time. Like, maybe occasionally I might buy something where I can find, okay, I should get a price adjustment on this. Maybe it'll happen like once a year, not even once a year, maybe once every few years. But for it to happen to me 5 times over the past 2 weeks at 4 different retailers, I just want to give you guys a heads up. Make sure you keep an eye on the prices of what you're buying, and make sure that the items that you're purchasing are ringing up for whatever the sale price should be. And if you do notice a cheaper price online for an item that you're purchasing, try to get a price match. Best Buy price matches. Kohl's will do a price adjustment if an item goes on sale cheaper than what you paid for within the past few weeks. And if you're shopping in a Macy's store, they will match the prices on their app and on their website. So make sure to save yourself whatever money you can this holiday shopping season. Stella says that $150 can buy a lot of cat food. And there are a lot of hungry cats in this world. It is 10 a.m. It is so loud outside right now because the landscapers just showed up. Meanwhile, the cats were eating their breakfast so nicely. and they all ran away. I had to move everyone over here and shut some doors. It's not just one leaf blower outside, it's like multiple leaf blowers outside at the same time. So it's like crazy right now. There's Simba. I had to put a few crunchies on their food to get them to want to eat more. It is 1:15 p.m. and here is Richard. He's relaxing in this cat bed from Sharon. And I don't know where the rest of the cats are. Boo was in the kitchen with me, and I was going to show you Boo, but every time I put the camera on him, he wants to move. So it's hard to film Boo. And so that's why we're looking at Richard right now. Richard's like, don't bother me. Here's Ringo. He's on top of the cat tower in my room. And there's Simba. He's on top of the armoire. That has been his favorite spot for the past few days. Like, he'll eat his breakfast, and then the next thing I know, he goes up there to the armoire. He's like, I get first dibs. And he's just been enjoying his time up there, luxuriating in one of the cat beds. Here's Ringo, and I'm just about to leave. I have to go to the poultry farm, and I hate going to the poultry farm. I can't stand it. If it was like a nice, more idyllic farm setting, then I wouldn't mind it so much. Like if it was just a nice property and I felt like the chickens and turkeys were, free roaming on a pasture or whatever they do. But it's not like that at all. It's pretty much in a suburban area and it's just like a building, several buildings actually. And I just feel like I get out of my car and I just smell death. And then I walk into the little store that they have there. And they have like freezer sections and they don't just sell, the birds that they slaughter there. They sell other items also. But I feel like I walk in and you just smell blood and you just smell death. And I just hate going there. And if it wasn't for these cats, I would not go there. If it wasn't for these cats, I would be living a very happy vegan lifestyle, most likely. But because of these cats, now I'm going to a poultry farm once a month to pick up turkey parts and chicken parts, and then I'm grinding up all kinds of raw meat. Here's Boo. Boo says, thank you very much for doing that for us. Okay, Boo, but you gotta eat it, okay? You gotta eat it. He's been so finicky lately. Also, I need to pick up some more Tiki Cat for him because he really loves the Tiki Cat sardines. I don't know why, because in the past he was never a big fan of them, but recently he is. It's 8:10 a.m. Here's Boo, and Nancy was right here with Boo. I was going to show you the two of them together, but Nancy moved. Here's Stella, and let me tell you what Stella did to me last night. Stella slept on my head. Yep, halfway through the night, I was sleeping, and all of a sudden I felt a cat walking around on the bed. And then all of a sudden I felt a cat walking on my pillow. And then all of a sudden I felt a cat lay down on top of my head. And it was Stella. Hey, Stella. I don't think I've ever had one of the cats do that before. They usually sleep on different areas of the bed. Maybe once or twice before, maybe Simba did something like that. But when Simba does something like that, it usually means he's trying to wake me up and he wants crunchies. And then he will proceed to headbutt me and paw at me while I'm trying to sleep, which will eventually wake me up. But Stella did not do that. Stella just laid down and slept there. And then I went back to sleep for probably like 3 hours. And then we woke up. Here's Splash. He's still in bed. So today I have to make homemade raw food. I went to the farm yesterday and I bought 18 pounds of ingredients. And then I went to the supermarket and then I bought a whole bunch of chicken and chicken parts. And I get that at the supermarket just because it's way cheaper than the farm. Then today I need to make the raw food. And I normally wait until the afternoon until I do that. But I'm thinking I am going to do it this morning and kind of just like get it out of the way. It normally takes me a few hours. From the time I start to the time everything is cleaned up, because I'll be making about 3 or 4 weeks worth of food. So that's the situation. The cats are completely out of homemade raw food. And they've been eating it once a day because Boo has been so finicky and he really wants to eat canned food more. So they've been getting raw food for breakfast and then canned food for dinner. And I also did that because of the HVAC installation last week. And I had so much going on that I needed to kind of make the raw food stretch out until this week so that I would have more time in my schedule, because it does take some time for me to go to the farm, buy all the ingredients. That's why I do that on one day. And then today, it'll be a few hours to make the food. So I have to kind of make sure I have room in my schedule for that. Here's Boo. He's hanging out with the toys. So years ago, what I used to have to do for Boo is I used to have to mix in some canned food into his raw food. I remember having to do that for quite a while. Like, all the cats would eat the raw food, and I would always have to mix some canned food into his raw food, and then he would eat it. So maybe he's reverting back to his old ways. So I'm going to start doing that soon also and see how he does with that. It is 9:30 a.m. As you can see, there's multiple cat toys on right now. And I put that fling-a-string cat toy on for the cats. Boo and Simba have been watching it. Nancy's walking around. I know she wants to play with it. But her and Simba just got into a little altercation, nothing much. Just a little growling and warning. It is 10:10 a.m. and here's Nancy. She's eating some breakfast. The cats are having canned food today. And this is the Merrick beef pate versus the Wholehearted chicken and beef liver pate. They also have some crunchies. And Nancy's eating here. Boo and Stella are in the kitchen. Simba's in the living room. Splash is in the dining room. They're all over the house today. And Nancy's been interacting with the cats this morning. And I actually think it's good for the cats to have Nancy here, because she has not been ambushing them and she does keep them on their toes. Like, she keeps them more active than they would be otherwise, because, they're kind of settled in their ways. And Boo had the zoomies this morning, and Splash and Simba were playing this morning. Stella could use more activity, and I try to play with Stella more. But with Nancy around, she definitely keeps Stella more active than Stella would be without Nancy around. It would be really nice if Nancy and Stella became good friends and, played with each other and stuff like that. But just in general, I think Nancy keeps the cats on their toes. And Simba has been making really big progress with Nancy as far as not being afraid of her and just standing his ground if he doesn't like something she's doing. So just a little while ago, Nancy was here and Simba, literally, he just walked past her. And then he walked into the kitchen. And in the past, he would not have done that. And he walked right past her. He wasn't stressed out. He wasn't afraid. He looked at her and he kind of glared a little bit like, yes, I'm walking past you. What are you going to do about it? Kind of thing. And everything was fine. So I think Simba's definitely making really good progress with the members of the Lucky Seven. And I mean, other than Richard occasionally jumping on one of the other cats, things have been really good. So sometimes it just takes time for the cats to kind of figure things out amongst themselves. Here's Boo and Stella. And it looks like Boo is enjoying the Wholehearted pate more so than the Merrick. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. He's also enjoying some crunchies. He had a meaty stick this morning, or at least part of a meaty stick. So he has no problem eating the meaty stick. And I cut it into 3 pieces for him, so it's not one big thing that he's going to swallow whole. The problem that he has, because he's missing his front teeth and his front fangs, is that sometimes food falls out of his mouth. And that's what happened with a piece of the meaty stick. He ate part of it, and then the other half just fell out of his mouth. And I was like, okay, Boo, here it is. You could get it. And he couldn't really pick it up off the floor with his mouth. So I picked it up with my hand. And then he's like, yeah, I don't want it anymore. So I think he needs to get used to eating, without those front teeth. I think he's still figuring some of that out. It is 7 p.m. And here's Simba. He's hanging out in this cat tower in Boo's room. And here's Ziggy. She was hanging out with Simba today. But she saw the camera and then she moved. There's Sammy. All the cats are kind of looking for dinner. Hello, Sammy. But I just got home, and that's the kind of day I had today. I thought I was going to make homemade food for the cats this morning and then get other things done. But no, it's 7 p.m. I haven't even started making homemade food for the cats yet because it was the kind of day where all kinds of unexpected things kept popping up. And then I had to run to my office and take care of a problem there. And before I knew it, I was just getting home at 7 p.m. I'm going to give the cats some dry cat food. They're just going to have crunchies for dinner. And I'm going to start making the homemade raw. And that's what I'm doing tonight. Right, Sammy? It is 7:35 a.m. Good morning, Boo. How are you today, Boo? It rained last night. We got a lot of rain last night, right, Boo? The last time we got rain was a few weeks ago, and we only got a little bit of rain, and we got a good amount of rain last night, so that's really good. Good morning, Splash. Splash lets me pet him like this sometimes now. It used to be that I could only pet Splash like on his own terms, but now sometimes he lets me pet him like this. The colors outside right now are just absolutely amazing. Like, the camera does not even do it justice. You can see how the grass by the woods is just completely burnt out. It looks like straw this year. It's never been like this before. This year, I'm going to be trying an artificial Christmas tree again. And I got this at Target a few weeks ago. The original price on it was $85, which I thought was good. It's a 7.5-foot tree. And then they had 30% off on top of it, which brought the price down to $59.50. And I was like, wow, that's a great price for an artificial tree. Even if it's not like, you know, the most amazing tree for that price, I think it's a good deal. So I purchased it, and it's been sitting in the back of my car. I never even took it out of the car. And I brought it in yesterday because I had to bring a bunch of stuff over to my office, and I had to make room for it. And then what happened was yesterday on the way home from my office, I decided to pop into Target. I have no idea why. I was like, something was just like, okay, go to Target. So I went to Target and I was walking around and I was looking at the Christmas trees. They had only a fraction of them left from a few weeks ago. And I noticed that this tree was now 50% off. And I was like, wait a minute, it's only $42 now? I paid like $59.50. So what I did was I opened up my Target app and I opened the receipt for the tree to make sure it was the same one and to make sure what I paid. And then I went to customer service and I asked for a price match. And they gave me the price match. So I got almost $20 back. And I think most of their customers don't even know that you can do that because there were quite a few people online behind me and I heard them talking and they're like, oh, we didn't know you could do that. And yeah, so if you go to Target and if you buy something there and then if you notice that the price goes lower within the next few weeks, you can go and get a price match on it and they'll give you your money back. So they just refunded the money on my credit card. And so I'm really happy that I got this 7.5-foot unlit Christmas tree for only $42. Like, how can you go wrong with that? Even if it's not perfect, even if it's not the most amazing tree, it's $42. Now, I've always gotten real trees, live trees, and I love a live tree, but they do require a good amount of work because they have to be watered every day and the needles do drop. So, you know, they need to be cleaned up occasionally, but I'm hoping this could help save me time. However, I did get it early enough that if I put it together and if I decide I don't like it for whatever reason and I still want a real tree, then what I could do with this is either not use it, put it back in the box and put it in my storage room and save it for the future, or I could even put it downstairs for the lucky 7 and they could have a Christmas tree down there. So those are my options, and I think for $42, that's a great deal. It's 9 a.m. Here's Boo. And here's Nancy. She wanted to come upstairs. Nancy wanted to come upstairs at 4:30 a.m. I woke up to the sound of meowing, meowing, meowing by the kitchen door. And I was like, I am not getting out of bed. I am not opening that door. And thankfully, I was just able to tune it out and continue sleeping because I ended up staying up pretty late making the homemade raw cat food. So I didn't start making that until after 8 p.m. and I didn't finish until almost 11 p.m. And by the time I cleaned up and everything and went to bed, it was after midnight. And so that's why I was like, yeah, I'm not getting up at 4:30 in the morning. And I just did some math. So I made 25 meals for 11 cats. And that is the equivalent of 109 of the 5.5 ounce cans of cat food. Or if I was going to buy 3 ounce cans of cat food, that's the equivalent of 200 3 ounce cans of cat food. So I made a lot of food yesterday, and it's going to last us for several weeks. And it definitely saves me money when I make my own cat food versus purchasing the cat food. Because if I was buying like 109 of the 5.5 ounce cans, the cheapest cans I would buy would be Friskies, which are, I think they're like 76 cents, but the cats are not going to eat that every meal. They might get that as a snack. If I purchase the Wholehearted cat food, that's like $1.20 a can. And if I was going to get the Merrick, it's like $2.40 a can. So if Friskies is like 76 cents a can plus $1.20 a can for the Wholehearted plus $2.40 a can for the Merrick, that's $4.36 divided by 3. That gives me an average price of $1.45 per can if the cats were eating an equal amount of Friskies, which they don't eat that often, Wholehearted, or Merrick. But I don't think that's accurate because they don't eat Friskies that much at all. What the Lucky 7 do eat is the Nature's Promise that I get at a local supermarket, and that is $1.20 a can, which is the same price as the Wholehearted from Petco. So let's just go with that. Let's go with $1.20 plus $2.40 for like the Merrick. So that's $3.60 divided by 2. That gives me an average price of $1.80 per can of food. So some of the food that I buy is $1.20 a can. Some of the food that I buy is like $2.40 a can. On average, that makes it $1.80 a can. So I made 109 cans of food. That means I would have spent $196 on canned cat food. I spent $61 at the supermarket for some of the ingredients. That brings us down to $135. Then I spent $71 at the poultry farm. So that means I saved $64.20 when I made this homemade cat food. And that's based off of paying $1.80 for a 5.5 ounce can of food. But what I forgot when I calculated that is tax, because when I purchase cans of cat food, I have to pay 6.625% sales tax on that. And I don't have to pay that when I make my own raw food because they don't charge sales tax on food here, but they do charge sales tax on pet food. So based on $1.80 a can, I saved $64.20. And let's just say it took me 3 hours to make this food. That means I saved myself $21.40 an hour. So we can consider like that's how much I got paid per hour of making homemade cat food. And I think that's a good time cost for doing that. That's definitely above minimum wage around here. Now let's take $1.80 and multiply it by the sales tax. It's actually $1.92 per can is what I pay. So $1.92 times 109 is $209.28. Now let's subtract $61 from the supermarket, and then let's subtract the $71 from the poultry farm. So I'm actually saving $77.28. Now let's divide that by 3. And my time cost is $25.76 per hour. So it's definitely worth my time to make my own homemade cat food versus having to purchase it. Now, some people will say, well, it actually takes time to go out and buy the ingredients. And I'll say, yes, it does. But it also actually takes time if I was to go out and buy the cans of cat food. So I would consider that the same amount of time, because what I do is I go buy the ingredients while I'm doing my own food shopping. For example, when I bought the ingredients at the supermarket, I was already doing my own shopping. And when I go to the poultry farm, I run additional errands at the same time. So it's not like I'm making the trip just to do that. I always stack my errands, so I'm getting other things done at the same time. So I think that is negligible. And of course, if I wanted to save even more money, I could buy cheaper ingredients to use in the cat food. So for the ingredients that I buy at the poultry farm, which is the chicken necks, the chicken livers, the chicken hearts, I could actually buy those cheaper in local supermarkets, but I'm not going to get them fresher than I can get at the poultry farm. So I sacrifice a little bit of savings for the freshness of the ingredients, but that would definitely save me probably at least $1 a pound on all of those ingredients. And I buy the boneless turkey thighs at the poultry farm. And if I was to use like cheaper supermarket turkey for that, that would save me money also. It is 8:30 a.m. and here's Stella. Good morning, Stella. It rained all day yesterday and it rained all night. And it's still really rainy this morning. And here's Boo. Good morning, Boo. How are you? Boo wants some pets. So we had a bit of an eventful night last night because Nancy wanted to stay upstairs. And right as I was going to bed, she decided that she was going to chase Simba. And Simba, he likes to scream, like he's a screamer. So he screamed as she chased him to like down the hallway and into the dining room. However, I looked at her body language the whole time. Her tail was straight in the air and she was obviously trying to play with him. And that's what it looked like. And when Simba got into the dining room, he went under the dining room table and he did not look like he was stressed out from it. Like, he looked like he was starting to understand that, okay, she's just trying to play. But Splash, who was in the living room at the time, came running to rescue Simba when he heard Simba screaming. So Splash goes running into the dining room where Nancy and Simba are. And Splash is getting ready to, take retaliation on Nancy. Well, Boo was in the dining room at the same time. And Boo jumped off of the cat tower that he was on. His tail was all big and he was ready to get himself into a fight also. But he was more like trying to figure out like what was going on. So he was just standing there like trying to figure it out. Right, Boo? So I tried to reassure everyone that Nancy was just playing, but she got freaked out by, Splash and Boo thinking about retaliating. So she ran down the hall and into my bedroom and under my bed. But Boo was all freaked out. His tail was all big And then he decided that he was going to get into a fight with Splash. I don't know if he thought Splash was doing something or what. But the next thing I know, he chases Splash into this room, the living room, and starts attacking Splash. And I had to break that one up. And it was one of those things where even when you start yelling at them to stop, they just keep going. So I had to like physically get between them, which is not always the best thing to do. And then they moved apart. But Boo had the giant tail for quite some time. Like he was really freaked out. So I was able to lure Boo into his room. And then I shut the door. I was like, okay, Boo, you stay in your room tonight and everything will be fine. And the reason why I did that is because Nancy was under my bed and I didn't think I was going to get her out. And it was already like after midnight at this point. I was really tired. I wanted to go to bed. So that's what happened. I fell asleep. And then at 1:30 in the morning, I woke up to the sound of a cat fight. And I knew right away it had to deal with Nancy and Simba because I heard Simba screaming. He has this really high-pitched scream. And what happened that time is Nancy went straight downstairs. So when Nancy does something like that, she either wants to hide under my bed or she wants to go downstairs. And that time she wanted to go downstairs. So I was like, okay, you go downstairs. So then I let Boo out of his room because I was like, there's no reason for him to be in his room. And then I went back to bed. And that's what happened last night. And that is why the Lucky 7 have to be separated from the OG4 at night. So everyone could get sleep and the house can be peaceful. And this is just like Nancy. That was one night with Nancy. Now, sometimes Nancy stays up here at night and there are not any problems, but sometimes there are. And if all of the members of the Lucky 7 were upstairs with the OG4, I mean, multiply the chances of something happening during the night by 7. So that is what happened last night. So I have a question for you because I know that there are quite a few people who watch these videos who also have large cat families, who have multiple cat households. My question to you is, how do you do it? How do you manage your multiple cat household? What are your secrets? How do you keep things running smoothly? How do you keep chaos from happening? How do you keep all of the cats getting along together? And how do you make sure that you have enough time in your day, enough hours in your day to meet everyone's needs, including your own? So please leave a comment below and let me know. Here's Simba. He's on top of the armoire. He says, "Don't disturb me. I'm still sleeping." And here's Splash. This is his favorite chair recently. I don't know why he likes this chair so much. Maybe because of the location, because it's kind of near an area that gets a lot of traffic. How you doing, Splash? It's 9 a.m. and Boo just took his vitamins. He has not been wanting to eat these in weeks. And I was like, I don't know why, because Boo usually likes anything that's like a treat or a crunchy. But he just ate some today. I'm really proud of him. And he got on the cat tower, and it says he gained 2 ounces. Good job, Boo. He's still not eating his homemade raw food the way that he should be eating it. And I totally forgot to defrost some for breakfast today. So they're going to have canned food again. Here's Stella. Stella, you want me to put the toy on for you? You want this toy on? There, I just put it on for you. They like it when it's on the ground more so than when it's on the door. It's 11 a.m. and I just got a major accomplishment done. So I have been wanting to get Capstar into Goldie, Eva, and Ringo. There's Ringo right now. And I've been waiting for a good day to do it. So I decided today was the day. That way I could just cross it off my list of things that I need to do. So I had some playtime with the Lucky 7 with the laser pointer. there's Goldie. And I made sure that they had a really good exercise session. Then what I did was I got some of the sliced turkey, and I was going to wrap the pills up in the sliced turkey, but then I realized, well, this is the wrong turkey. I bought the wrong kind. This kind doesn't let you do that. So I said, I'm going to open up a can of Friskies. And I divided it 6 ways because Nancy already ate her breakfast upstairs. And I believe it was the chicken and liver pate. And then I just hid the capstar into 3 of the little pieces. Here's little Eva. And I put a little treat on the little plates that had the capstar so I knew which was which. And the cats were so hungry that they ate it. So here's Ringo. He was the last to finish, but I made sure that all the plates did not have little capstars left, and none of them did. So now I'm going to give them more breakfast because they had such a tiny bit. I mean, they each had like 1/6. They each had like 1/6 of a can of cat food, along with a few bites of the turkey, but it worked. Little Eva's still hungry. She's looking for more food. So I'm going to give them another can or 2, split amongst the 6 of them. Now they're splitting a can of Tiki Cat sardines and also some of the wholehearted salmon pate. Some of them are distracted with other things they're not eating right now. That's fine, as long as I got the pills in. The reason why I wanted to give the 3 of them Capstar is because I cannot flea comb them. The cats that I can flea comb, there have not been any fleas recently. Like Nancy had, I think, 1 or 2 stray fleas the other day. But other than that, I mean, it's day after day after day, no fleas. So I know we're pretty much done with flea season. But with those 3, with Goldie, Eva, and Ringo, I cannot flea comb them. So if they have any remaining fleas on them, I want to kill the remaining fleas, and that's why I wanted to just do 1 more round of Capstar, and then we can call the season over and done. Here's Boo. He's in his room. I wanted to show you him sitting on this blanket because it was so funny. Of course, the minute I turn the camera on, he moves. These cats are too smart. So I put Boo in here with his food. And here's the sardine side, and then they had, I think it was flaked beef, the wholehearted flaked beef. And for Boo, I put a bunch of crunchies on it. So he ate some of his food, but not nearly as much as I thought he would, or he should have. And the reason why I have to put Boo in his room with the food sometimes like this is because Stella was eating it. Now, Boo could gain a pound, and Stella needs to lose a pound. So that's why I have to juggle the 2 of them, because when Boo does not want to eat something, Stella is more than happy to swoop in and eat it. Here's Boo about 15 minutes later. So what I did was I started giving him a churro, and then I was like, I'm going to put it on his food, see what he does. This is his food after he had a churro on it, so he definitely ate more of his food. Good boy, Boo. Now the door's open, and you could come out if you want to come out. I hear Nancy. Hello, Nancy. Don't you want to let Boo out of the room? Boo's going to walk out of the door, and you're going to be fine, Nancy. He's not going to bother you, okay? Go ahead, Boo. That was okay, right, Nancy? No problems there, right, Nancy?
My 2 love her cats. 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 My 2 love her cats. Nancy and Richard, Richard and Nancy, sleeping together, as happy as can be. Nancy loves Richard, and Richard loves Nancy, two bonded cats from the same family. What would have happened if they were split apart? They'd spend the rest of their lives with sad and broken hearts. Nancy and Richard, Richard and Nancy, sleeping together, as happy as can be. Nancy loves Richard, and Richard loves Nancy, two bonded cats from the same family. What would have happened if they were split apart? They'd spend the rest of their lives with sad and broken hearts. Nancy and Richard, Richard and Nancy, sleeping together, as happy as can be. Nancy loves Richard, and Richard loves Nancy, two bonded cats from the same family. Nancy and Richard, Richard and Nancy, sleeping together, as happy as can be. Nancy loves Richard, and Richard loves Nancy, two bonded cats from the same family.
So happy to be together, so happy to have each other, so happy to be together. So happy to share this love.
Two lover cats, lover cats, lover cats, lover cats, lover cats, lover cats. My two lover cats. See them laying there with their heads next to each other. They're a happy pair. Could be a sister and a brother. They might also be a mother and her son. What does it matter? Either way, they're with their true loved one. My two lover cats, lover cats, lover cats. Lover cats, lover cats, lover cats, my two lover cats. See them laying there with a smile upon their face. They're a happy pair. Don't wanna be another place because they're safe and warm on a nice comfortable bed, sleep in each other's arms. Can you see why I have said they're my two lover cats, 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 my two lover cats. Oh. See them laying there with their heads next to each other. They're a happy pair. Could be a sister and a brother. They might also be a mother and her son. What does it matter? Either way, they're with their true loved one. My two lover cats, lover cats, lover cats, lover cats, lover cats, lover cats, my two lover cats. My two lover cats, lover cats, lover cats, lover cats, lover cats, lover cats, my two lover cats.
It's 7:30 a.m. and here's Splash on his favorite chair. Here's Stella and Simba. And there's Boo. He's been sleeping on this blanket on the day sofa. Of course he moves when I put the camera on him. Boo, you don't have to move when you see me, okay? When he sees me, he always wants to walk up to me and greet me. Good morning, Boo. Good morning, Boo. I have to get out of here in less than an hour, so I need to get moving. It's about 2:15 p.m. right now. I just got back from shopping. I left the house a little bit after 8. So I was gone for about 6 hours, but I got so much stuff done. This is one of the things that I got at Marshall's. It was $12.99, so this is a great deal. These are extra large cardboard scratchers. These are Christmas themed. The cats are using the Halloween themed ones, and they've just about scratched through both sides of them. So I was really happy to get these and get them new scratchers. This is the kind that I'm referring to. They're all cardboard. They come with some catnip, and I'm gonna give these to the cats in a few days. Right now I'm gonna put these in the closet in Boo's room just so no one gets into them, and then I'll give everyone the new scratchers. There's 3 here, so there's enough for upstairs, for downstairs, and then I'll put one away for when these wear out. But for $13 to get 3 of these, that's a great deal. Anytime I see a scratcher that is this size for $5 or less, I think that's a good deal. Because sometimes you'll see one of these cardboard scratchers, like just one for the price that I just paid for 3. So it's a great deal at Marshall's right now. It's about 9:30 p.m. and I forgot to film this, but I purchased this at Whole Foods yesterday. I found out that they carry this, and they also carry ground bison in their freezer section. And I decided to buy it to see if the cats would like it. I figured it would be a different type of protein for them. And they've had venison in the past when I used to get the primal raw venison nuggets for cats, but they haven't had that in years. The Lucky 7 never had that. That was when I used to go to Pet Value, and they went out of business so many years ago. They went out of business before COVID, I want to say in like 2018 or 2019. So that's how long it's been since the cats had venison. I bought this, it's 14 ounces, and I figured I would mix in the chicken necks that I normally mix into their meals. So I mixed in 4 ounces of ground chicken necks and then 3 ounces of ground organ meats, which is chicken liver and chicken heart. And then I added supplements and I made homemade raw food for them. Stella and Simba devoured it. That was Stella's plate and this was Simba's plate. After he ate, I put a few extra crunchies on there for Stella, but she doesn't want them. Instead, she's finishing whatever was left on Boo's plate. So Boo only ate the crunchies that I put on his plate at first. Then what I had to do is I had to mix some additional warm water into the raw food. Then he ate the raw food. So I don't know if it's a texture thing with Boo, but he liked it when it was soupier. He ate the vast majority of it. There was maybe like a teaspoon left on this plate, but Stella seems to really enjoy it, so that's why she was finishing it. Now she's finishing the crunchies that were on Simba's plate. Do you see what I say when Stella will just eat any food that's left on any plate? So this venison costs $12.99 for that package, which is more than I usually like to pay when I'm buying some form of protein for the cat's raw food. But if I put this like on a meal plan for them so they have it maybe once every 2 weeks, something like that, then I don't think it's bad, because as long as I balance it out with the more reasonably priced meats, then I think that's okay. The ground bison was the same exact size, 14 ounces, and it was the same price, $12.99. So I'll see how they like that. And obviously in nature, cats are not going to be hunting a deer and they're not going to be hunting bison, but they're not going to be hunting cows either. And when I bought them the ground mice to try, that's when I realized that ground mice are so similar to ground beef. Ground mice look like ground beef. They kind of smell like ground beef. They just have a more pungent smell than ground beef does. And just in general, I was really surprised at how similar ground up mice are to ground beef. So that's when I started giving the cats ground beef like once a week or so, and they have really enjoyed it. So even though cats are not going to hunt cows in the wild, because beef is so similar to mouse meat, that was the reasoning behind it. Also, the venison seems to be similar to mouse meat. And yes, I could continue to buy them ground mice. You could buy it online. The problem that I have with that is it makes me want to vomit. Like the smell just is pretty bad. And the cats themselves really did not enjoy it that much. I remember thinking, oh, the cats are going to be so excited because I got them some ground mice. And a lot of them did not even want to eat it. So that was really kind of disappointing because I spent all the money on it and just eye-opening at the same time. I just gave Splash his food. Do you see what Stella's doing? This is why Stella has to be put into Boo's room or my room with the door shut if one of the other cats is trying to eat food sometimes. She's so mad right now because she wants to eat Splash's food. And it's new for Splash, so he was afraid of it. Because whenever Splash gets new food, he's afraid of it, unless he's had it before. So now he's eating it, and Stella just wants to eat it. Look at this. Look. Stella, you had yours, and you had part of Boo's, okay? This is not for you. You had yours, okay? I know you like it. We could have it again soon, okay? Maybe we'll have it next week, okay? All right, Stella? You okay? So far, all 4 cats who've had the venison really enjoy it. Look at that. Splash finishes like right away. Good job, Splash. Let's take a look at what's going on down here. So Richard is eating, Ziggy's eating, Goldie's eating, Nancy's eating, Sammy's eating, little Eva's eating, and Ringo's walking around. Go get your plate, Ringo. So it seems that all of the cats really like this food. Now Ringo's eating. He's looking around. Yep, he's eating also. I had no idea cats like venison this much. If I remember correctly, it was the number 2 favorite flavor behind rabbit when I used to get the primal raw nuggets. None of the stores around here sell primal nuggets for cats except for one, and they only ever carry the same 2 flavors. So that's a shame, but now that I know I could get this at Whole Foods, then I could do that. They also opened a new store not too far away. I think it's called Wild Fork. It's supposed to have like all kinds of exotic meats and stuff. I'm not really a fan of stores like that, and I'm not even too crazy about having to buy this ground venison, because if you think about it, you know, someone's farming deer, so they're growing a bunch of deer and then they're killing all of them. So not a fan of that, but cats are obligate carnivores and they do require a meat-based diet, so that's why I'm buying it. If I didn't have cats, I would not be buying it. I just scraped out the bowl, and each cat got like a little teaspoon full of what's left, along with some crunchies. Boo is eating the venison instead of the crunchies. And I did not put any extra water into it for him. So I know he can eat it if he wants to. But what I realized today was, so I was in my car, I was running errands, and all of a sudden, it was like Boo was talking to me, and he told me that he spent so many weeks on soft cat food without any crunchies at all, that he's making up for all of that lost time, and then some. That's why he only wants to eat crunchies now. Although we did see him eat the venison, he has been eating some of the canned food. But the majority of all he wants to eat is crunchies. And the reason why is because when he was having his teeth issues, he was not eating any crunchies at all. He was only on soft food for about 4 weeks. So now he says he has to make up for all that lost time. I just did some quick math to figure out like how much it costs to make this meal. So it cost about $15.50 to make this meal for 11 cats. And if I divide $15.50 by 11, that comes to $1.41 per cat. So if I was buying a 3-ounce can of cat food, because that's roughly the serving size that the cats get, I would be paying $1.41 per can for that. So the price of this meal being completely homemade is comparable to some of the higher end cat foods that are sold on the market today. It's about 9:30 p.m. and here's Simba. And I was just downstairs feeding the Lucky 7. Today, the OG4 had tiki cat sardines, and then they also had wholehearted salmon pate for seniors because that one does not have the vegetable oil in it. Well, I go downstairs, and the downstairs cats had the tiki cat sardines, and they also had some turkey friskies, and then they had some Nature's Promise. I think it was like salmon shred, something like that. And both of the cats had a little bit of crunchies. I just came upstairs, and someone vomited all over the play rug in this room, like in 6 different areas. And I looked at the security camera footage, and it was Simba. And he was basically moving around while he was vomiting. That's why it was in so many places. And to me, it looked like he gorged himself on all the food because we know how much Simba likes fish. And this is what I get for not watching them eat their food. But I figured, well, they all look like they were eating at the same pace. And if they're all eating at the same pace, then usually they're not going to eat each other's food. But if like some are eating fast, some are eating slow, then usually someone will eat someone else's food. But I made the mistake of thinking they were all eating at the same pace. So I started cleaning up this rug, but I've just made the decision that I am going to get rid of it. I looked in my storage room downstairs, and I have 3 more of these. So these are the rugs that I was buying at the Christmas tree shop, like when they were going out of business, because that's where I always got the rugs for the cats, because they had like great deals. I think this rug is like 5 by 7, and I used to get them for like $15. So that was like super cheap. I'm going to roll this up, wrap it up with some packing tape so it just stays in a roll, take this outside and put it aside for rubbish day when the town will come and pick it up. And then I'm just going to leave this area without a rug for now. And then over the next few days, I'll probably put a new rug up here because I do have 3 extras. It's 8:40 a.m. Good morning, Splash. Good morning, Stella. Good morning, Boo. And here's Simba. Simba is going to have a spa day today. Simba's going to spend the day in Boo's room, hopefully by himself. Hopefully he'll stay in here all day. The reason why is because he threw up early this morning. He didn't have anything to throw up because he wasn't eating. So it was just like, some clear liquid from his stomach. Last night he ate his dinner and then he threw up all over the play rug in the living room. And prior to that, a few hours earlier, so that's when he started throwing up some foamy liquid. Then he ate his dinner and he threw up his dinner. And then probably around 5 o'clock this morning, he threw up just some liquid because he really did not have anything in his stomach. He wanted me to feed him around midnight, but I did not want to do that because I knew he was just going to throw up again. So I said, you need to rest your stomach. So just go relax, get some sleep. And then around 5 a.m., that's when he threw up some liquid. So this morning so far, he's eaten maybe like a teaspoon of chicken baby food. And then what I did was I took some of the freeze-dried chicken that the cats love, and I added some warm water to it to reconstitute it a bit. And he ate a little bit of that. And I want to see how he does with that. I might need to go out and get some just plain chicken breast today and make him some boiled chicken, because that usually works really well for a cat with an upset stomach. With Simba in the past, he has vomited due to like stressful conditions, but nothing has been overly stressful for him over the past few days. I'm going to check the Feel Away dispensers and make sure that they still have liquid in them, but I'm pretty sure they do because I was sitting in a chair near one yesterday and I could smell it. And those things are supposed to not have a smell, but they do have a smell. So that's what's going on with Simba today. Oh, and he also ate a churro. So he ate a whole churro. He ate a little bit of the freeze-dried chicken, and he ate like a teaspoon of the baby food. I have the window open maybe like an inch so he could get some fresh air. And I have the relaxing music for cats playing in this room. So the goal is to keep him in this room today. and to just let him kind of relax and feel better. But right now he is on observation because he did eat the churu, the baby food, and some of the chicken. So I have to see if he's going to throw that up. Are you going to throw that up or you feel okay? He says he thinks he feels okay right now, but he doesn't know. Okay, I'll be back to check on you, Simba, okay? It's 9:30. I'm checking on Simba. He left the room. As soon as I opened the door, he flew out, so. But I don't want him leaving, so I just put some more of the freeze-dried chicken on his plate. And I'm going to give him another churu. Come on, Simba. He has not vomited what he ate before yet, which is why I'm checking on him, and which is why I'm going to give him a little bit more of this food. If this sits well with his stomach, then we're good. I just need to keep him on bland food for like a day or two. All right, I'll give you it. He's acting normal. Like, he has a good appetite. He would eat like normal food if I put it in front of him, but he'd probably vomit it because his stomach, like, he has an upset stomach right now. I put a bunch of training pads on the floor in case he vomits. I don't want him vomiting on the rug. Eat the food, Simba. Eat your food, Simba. It's 10:45 a.m. Look at what's going on here. So I heard howling and I was like, what is going on? So Nancy has been on this cat tower and Boo jumped onto this cat tower. So Nancy's been howling at him and Boo's been growling at her. But they can get along. There's plenty of space between these cat towers. There's plenty of space there, Nancy. Just mind your business. He'll mind his business. And nobody has to be worried with each other, okay? It's 12 p.m. and here's Simba. He's luxuriating on this cat tower. The sun is out. It is a beautiful day. I looked at the weather forecast, and this is going to be like the last beautiful, sunny, warm day in a long time. Within the next week, the temperatures are going to drop down to the 30s. So I'm trying to get a lot of things done outside today. I didn't plan on doing outside work today, but I'm trying to get some things done. Maybe I'll even put the Christmas decorations outside. So what I have here is some of the Nature's Variety raw instinct bites. And I remembered that I had a bag of these in the refrigerator. And in the past, when like Stella had an upset stomach and she didn't want to eat anything, she ate these. And these are pretty easy for the cats to digest. And you can see Simba's eating it. He hasn't had these in a long time, so it's kind of like a treat for him. And I only gave him 12 because I didn't want to give him too many, but I figure this is a good amount. And hopefully he's not going to vomit it up. But this will be a test. He did not vomit what he had for breakfast today, so that's good. Here we go. And I think Simba also enjoys the extra attention. I know that when Boo is in this room, Boo really enjoys the extra attention. And I think Simba enjoys it also. Stella does not like being in this room at all. Okay, you're done? You're going to finish those or you're done? So Simba has a good appetite and he's acting normal. Okay, you're done? Just leave these on the side here. Oh, you're not done? You want to go get them? Here. You want me to leave them here? I'll put them down here. I'll put them down there. Simba, I'll leave them here for you, okay? It's 2 p.m. Let's check on Simba. How you doing, Simba? You okay? I think he's having a good time in here today. Okay, I'll see you later, Simba. It's 4 p.m. Let's check on Simba. There's Simba. He's laying on the day sofa. I don't see any vomit in the room. That's good. I am going to defrost some more of those raw bites that he ate for lunch today. And he'll have those for dinner in about an hour. Simba, would you like to eat your dinner? Here you go. You want to eat these? Put them up there for you. He had 12 for lunch. I gave him 24 for dinner. This is how spoiled he is. He wants dinner in bed. He had lunch in bed. Now he wants dinner in bed. Was that still cold? Are they still cold, Simba? They're still a little bit cold. They've been sitting out for an hour. Oh, he ate that piece. I just shut the window. And I just realized the music stopped. I thought I had the music on repeat. Unless I stopped it to film something earlier and forgot to put it back on. Okay, you want me to turn your plate? Okay, there you go. Hopefully he's not eating too fast. So Simba definitely enjoyed his dinner. You finished that little tiny piece? No? You done with that little piece? With the little piece? Okay, you're done. Good job, Simba. Very good job, Simba. You did good, okay? All right, you relax. I'll see you in a little bit, okay? It's 10 p.m. Boo's hunting a lizard. It's a new lizard video. Boo's going crazy over it. Can you see Boo? I know it's dark. I hope he doesn't ruin the TV. I hope he doesn't put his claws out. It's 8:30 a.m. It's a dark and rainy day. And here's Boo, he's laying on the bed. He's still sleeping. And there's Simba, he's on top of the armoire. There was no vomiting overnight, which is good. So he did have a few crunchies last night at crunchy time. Not too many, just a few. And we'll see how he does today. I definitely am going to have to keep an eye on him while he eats to make sure that he's not eating other people's food. And to see if he's actually eating his own food and how his appetite is. I'm thinking maybe I should put him back on the raw bites today. Simba, do you want to eat raw bites today or do you want to eat the regular food with everyone else? You want the regular food with everyone else? Or do you want those raw bites that you had yesterday? No, he says he wants the regular food with everyone else. what I've been doing for Boo is mixing in some of the Tiki Cat sardine pate into his food, into his homemade raw food, and then he's been eating it that way. And that's like what I had to do with Boo years ago. When he didn't want to eat the raw food, I had to mix in a little bit of his favorite canned food. So that seems to be working again. Now, I did not know that Tiki Cat makes pate. I thought they only made like, I don't know what they call it. I don't know if, the cutlets. I thought they only made like the sardine cutlets in consomme or broth or whatever it is. But when I was looking online to do some shopping for the cats, I saw that they actually had the pate, but they only have it in the 3-ounce cans, which is why I didn't know about it, because I never buy 3-ounce cans. Like, it's very rare that I buy 3-ounce cans, because with 11 cats, I need the biggest cans of cat food I could get. So I bought a few of them just to see if Boo would like them, and he does. He really enjoys them. So what I do is I take a 3-ounce can and I cut it into 4 pieces, and then I give him like a quarter of it with his raw food, and I mix it in, and then he eats the raw food. But he still likes his crunchies a lot. But at least he's eating pretty much normal again. Right, Boo? We didn't get to bed till 1 o'clock in the morning, which was way later than we wanted to. But I had a very productive day yesterday. Like, I got so much stuff done. And it was like our last warm, sunny day for quite a while, because we're getting a big like cold front moving in. So I wanted to definitely do as much as I could. Boo loves it when I squeeze his ear, when I rub his ear. He loves that, right, Boo? Right, Boo? Good morning, Boo. Good morning, Boo. The cats don't like getting up in the morning sometimes when they would rather sleep, but they could sleep all day. Right, Boo? They have the luxury of being able to take a long afternoon nap. Unlike me, who has to work. Right, Boo? It's almost 10 a.m. and I have no idea where the morning went. And the cats are eating their breakfast. They're having homemade raw food. Today is chicken. Right now, they're alternating between turkey and chicken. There has not been any beef on sale recently, but that's fine. Some times of the year, they have more beef than other times of the year. And they had the venison the other day, and they've had some canned fish, so they're getting a variety. I'm keeping an eye on Simba. He's eating well, but I just want to make sure he's not going to overeat. The only possibility right now is that he might be eating too fast. I'm also keeping an eye on Boo, making sure he eats his food. And I'm keeping an eye on Stella, and I'm making sure that she does not eat anyone else's food other than hers. If Boo or Simba walk away from their plate, there's very little bit of food left, then I'm fine, she could eat it. But if they walk away with more than half of their food left, then I have to make sure she doesn't eat it. Splash likes to eat in the dining room. He likes to be more formal. What I realized today while I'm standing here and watching the cats eat their breakfast is that I could be more productive with my use of this time. So what has been happening is I've been getting up in the morning, and then I grab my phone and I check to see if I have any messages. Then I check my emails, and then I end up scrolling through social media to see what's going on in the world. That has been my source of news, more so than, traditional sources of news. I never turn my TV on, only once a week, or actually pretty much I only turn my TV on when I'm putting on videos for the cats to watch. Other than that, I don't really watch TV. Once a week, I might sit down and then just catch up on some TV shows. But other than that, I don't. So I don't really get news that way. I very rarely put on a radio, and I don't get a newspaper. So my only source of news is online. So that's what I do in the morning. And then, of course, if you're on social media, then you end up looking at this, looking at that. And the next thing you know, like an hour goes by and it's not a very productive use of my time. So what I'm realizing is that I need to get out of that habit and I need to just immediately get up, start my day. And then when the cats are eating, because it takes me quite a while to watch them eating. So here's what Boo did. He ate most of it. So what I need to do is I need to rearrange the food on his plate, top it off with a few more crunchies, and then he'll end up eating that also. Now he's going to go back to eating. I also mixed in a little bit extra water because Boo tends to like his food more on the soupy side. So what I was saying is that I really should not even look at anything on my phone until the cats are eating their food. Because if I'm standing around for 15, 20 minutes watching them eat, making sure nobody's eating anyone else's food, making sure that they're getting just their portions, there's much better use of that time. And I could use that time for scrolling through news or checking email or anything like that. So I think I might try that moving forward. I don't know how well it's going to work because it can become quite a habit to wake up in the morning and then just like grab your phone or a tablet and start seeing what's going on. So I want to see if I can make that change, because when you have 11 cats, it takes quite a bit of time to care for them and attend to their needs. And if I could make better use of that time and do some multitasking during that time, then maybe things would go more smoothly and maybe it could actually free up some time for me, because one of the biggest challenges I have is finding free time. Like there are some days where I absolutely have no free time. So that's why I'm just trying to figure out where I could squeeze some extra minutes out of my day. And as you could see, Boo is now eating the rest of his food. And they do get very specific portions. I do weigh their meal. Like when I'm portioning out their homemade raw food, like I weigh it out to like specific ounces. So I'd rather them eat their full meal and then not, want to have snacks during the day than not eat their meal. Good job, Boo. You did so good. And all I did was mix in a little tiny bit of sardine pate into his food. And now he's happy with it again. Now it's time to feed the lucky 7. But everyone has to get combed. I combed the OG4 today. Nobody had any fleas, so that's good. We should be done with flea season, but I just want to check and make sure. Last night, Nancy was just being so annoying. Let's just say annoying, because she would not stop pestering me. She would not stop bugging me. I was like, Nancy, you got to stay downstairs tonight. Everyone wants to just relax, get some good sleep. And, I don't want to be woken up in the middle of the night with like a cat issue. So what I did was I put a bunch of crunchies on this board and they had such a great time getting the crunchies off of it. Honestly, they're not as good at getting crunchies out of this board as the OG4 are, but they still enjoy it. And then like these little fish bowls, there's still crunchies in there right now. So I guess they don't know they could stick their paws in there and get them out. But this is great. This little activity feeder is great for keeping the cats entertained for a while. So I've been using this more often recently. Yesterday, I was in Target and I picked up a new water dispenser for the cats. The last one that we've been using was quite old, and I realized that it wasn't getting as clean as I wanted it to. Like inside, like underneath, there are like a lot of crevices and little nooks and crannies that can, I don't know, over time they darken, and I wasn't able to get everything out. Like even using a brush to clean it, it was not getting as clean as I wanted to. And I was like, you know what? It's time to get them a new one. It's only $15. So I was like, I'm going to buy them a brand new water dispenser. Hey, Sammy, you going to run? Sammy likes to run before breakfast and dinner. Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, Richard. Everyone ready to get combed? With the lucky 7, I have found that the key to getting everyone to eat their food at the same time, or almost everyone to eat their food at the same time, is to make sure that they get playtime before their meal. And even if it's only 5 minutes of playtime, then they mostly tend to eat their meal. Whereas if I came down here, I just flea comb them, and if I was like, okay guys, we're gonna eat right away, then only some of them would eat, some of them would not. But I found that if I do play with them, then they will usually eat. And right now, I don't know if I hear my landscaper outside. They usually come today. And I put out all my Christmas decorations yesterday, or almost all of them. And I don't want them blowing the Christmas decorations around. So I have to go upstairs now and see if they're here. And if so, I have to text him and let him know. It wasn't them because it's raining. So it was just a really loud truck outside. But anyway, so we're going to have some playtime now. And then the cats are going to eat. And then I'm going to start my day. So here's everyone except for Ringo and little Eva. There's Ringo, he's running around. Oh no, that's little Eva. Here's little Eva. Hello, little Eva. She loves playing with wand toys. Have you seen this? I don't know if I showed this to you before. This is a little pop-up camper that I had gotten for the cats years ago, and I totally forgot that I had it. It was in my storage room. And when I was organizing my storage room for the HVAC replacement, I found it. So I put it out here. So I used to have like a giant business printer here, and I was never using it because, you know, of the cats, and it just wasn't a good location with them. So I moved it to the back room, and I said, well, what can I do with this space over here? So I said, oh, I have this little camper. Let me put the little camper here. So that's what I did, and the cats love laying in it. I put one of the quilts from Sharon inside, and then I need to get another one of those grass mats that I get at Daiso, because I think it would be really cute with a grass mat underneath. But I found one of my seasonal little rugs, and I put that underneath instead, and it's been working out pretty well. So I think it's really cute. And here's the TV with the fish on for them. Sometimes they like to watch the fish. This is a bag of Blue Buffalo Wilderness dry cat food, and this is their chicken variety. Let me show you what I found in this bag of cat food. This is what I found. This does not look like a crunchy to me. Here are some pieces of the dry cat food next to it as a comparison. So I was a little bit surprised when I pulled out this large chunk. To me, this appears to be either a chunk of the coating that they put on these crunchies, or I don't know if it's an actual just clump of whatever ingredients are in these crunchies. So it was kind of strange. I've never had a bag of dry cat food that had something like this in it. I grabbed a knife, so let's do some dissection and see what's inside of this, or what it looks like if I cut it in half. And this is what we have. It was really easy to cut it in half. I don't think it has the same texture or consistency as a piece of the dry cat food. This appears to be softer than the dry cat food. Yeah, if I cut the dry cat food in half, it is much firmer and more crumbly than this. Even though this is crumbly, this is like really, do you see how soft this is? This is really, I don't know what this is. I think it's some kind of coating maybe that would have been put on the dry cat food, but it just crumbles up. It does not have an unpleasant aroma. It just smells kind of meaty. Now, if I take a piece of the dry cat food and try to crumble it up, it does not crumble up. So that is what I found in this dry cat food. And my question to you is, have you ever found something like that in a bag of dry cat food? Or have you ever found something else in a bag of dry cat food that should not have been there? Leave a comment below and let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye. It's 7:30 a.m. and here's Splash, The cats are all still relaxing in bed. And this is where Splash slept last night. Let me tell you what happened with Nancy and Stella. So last night, I was sitting on the sofa and I was looking at my iPad and I was just about to go to bed. Boo was sitting on the sofa next to me. And this was my view where I was sitting. And Nancy was right here near this ribbon thing. And Stella was here, like in front of her castle. They were probably only maybe 4 feet away from each other. And everyone was getting along so nice. Earlier that evening, Nancy had crunchies with the older cats, and everything was good. Good morning, Boo. So then I reach down here and I start petting Nancy, kind of like I'm petting Boo right now, except Nancy was laying on the rug. And she was looking at Stella and Stella was looking at her. And I didn't think anything of it because I didn't see like any malicious body language or anything like that. Well, the next thing I know, Nancy, who was here, just lunges at Stella, who is there. It was like a bullet out of a gun. It was like crazy.
You okay? Be nice.
It was not like playful. It was more like an attack. And then Nancy ran. And I was like, okay, Nancy, you're going downstairs. But she ran under my bed instead. So thankfully, I kind of have her trained that if I'm jingling that mini tambourine or even some jingle bells, like if I jingle them in a certain way, she goes running downstairs. So that's how I was able to get her downstairs. And then when I went downstairs, I just like walked up to her and she knew she did something wrong. Like all I have to do is walk up to her when she knows she does something wrong. And then she will like run to the other side of the room. So then I walk up to her there and then she like runs to another side of the room. So then I walk up to her there. It's like she totally knows when she does something that she should not be doing. And then she jumped onto the cat tower. Then she jumped on top of a shelf. And I was like, Nancy, you cannot attack cats like that. I said, it's okay if you want to play, but you can't be attacking them. They don't like that. And this is why you guys have to spend some time downstairs instead of being upstairs whenever you want. And here's Simba. And he was fine yesterday. No vomiting. So I think hopefully we've gotten past that issue. Today I have to set up their automatic feeders later today. I'm going to set up their big feeders, their small feeders, and then downstairs I'm going to set up their automatic feeder also because I'm going to be away tomorrow, possibly the next day also. I have to see how it goes. It's almost 11 a.m. Here are the lucky 7. That's Ziggy. And that was Sammy and Richard. And I want to show you what they found. This is a package of ping pong balls, and I don't know where they got it from. They just found it somewhere down here. So this is from the Dollar Tree, I could tell by the manufacturer. But I don't know where this was. And they obviously took it out from wherever it was. And I guess they want me to open it because it's just sitting here. So maybe they were trying to get it open. Sammy, you want me to get these balls out of this package for you? Yeah, I think they were telling me that they want to play with these. Not like they don't have other toys and balls around here. So, you want me to open this? Want me to open this, Sammy? Here. Come on. Here's Richard. Hello, Richard. Yesterday, I took their beds out of storage. And there are 5 beds on Boo's old daybed over here. And I put Richard's favorite bed underneath the daybed. That's where he likes to lay. And there's another one on that chair. I just took them out of the package. Sammy, you want one? Goldie, you want one? Oh, you want to play soccer? Here. Ringo came out. Ringo loves playing with balls. Here you go, Ringo. You can't see him on the other side of the ottoman. Goldie. Uh-oh. Here, go get it. There's Eva. Oh, there goes Ringo running by. They're all waiting for their breakfast. I had a few work issues to deal with right now, so we're a little bit late with breakfast, but we're going to have our breakfast now. They all just got flea comb. There's no fleas. Nobody has any fleas. Nobody has any flea dirt. And I think, you know, I'm going to move to like combing them a few times a week versus every day. I don't think they need to be flea combed on a daily basis anymore. We're pretty much through flea season at this point. Look at Richard, look. He's on the wheel. The other day he ran on the wheel because we were playing with the laser pointer, and I put the laser pointer on the wheel and he started running, but then I think he scares himself, so that's why he stopped. Now, it could also be because he's a bigger cat than Sammy is, and maybe these wheels are only made for small cats. I don't know, but he got freaked out and he stopped immediately. I know Sammy's the one that wanted me to open those balls. And there's Ziggy. Ziggy's gonna sit on it. It's right there near her. That was little Eva. She just jumped across the furniture. Hey, Ziggy. Hey, Sammy. The other day I came downstairs and Sammy and Goldie were hunting a spider, a real one. It was pretty big too. It's 1 p.m. Look at this. It's Goldie. She was hanging out in a cat tower by the window. I wanted to show her to you. But of course, the minute the camera turns on, she moves. And there's Richard, and I was going to show him to you also. Richard was laying so cutely in this cat bed. And the minute I turned the camera on, he had to move. I'm really starting to think I might have to get some kind of different camera. I've turned all of the sounds off on this camera, so there's like no sounds. Although when I do turn it on, the lens extends, so there's like a lens noise, but that's it. So I don't know what I'm gonna do because the cats are getting so smart and it's harder and harder to film them now. It's 1:22 p.m. and look at what's going on here. Nancy and Richard are hanging out in the castle together. I was just testing out the GoPro to see how it does. The worst part of it is that it doesn't zoom, so you have to get really close to the cats. But I was able to record them in there for like a full half hour, and now that I have the other camera, they're moving away from it again. It's about 3 p.m. I'm just about to open some mail and look at this. Nancy and Richard are back in the castle together. There's all kinds of noise outside with a leaf blower, but this is the only chance I have to film this mail time. So if you hear a lot of leaf blowers in the background, that's why. We have 2 boxes here, so let's see what the cat's got. There was a note inside, and these are from Janet Stemper. And it says, Lucky Ferals, Merry Christmas from Janet Stemper. Thank you so much, Janet. Oh, it says it is stoneware. Oh, it looks like a pitcher. Isn't that cute? Look at this Christmas picture. That is adorable with all of the Christmas lights on it, and Santa and a snowman and a reindeer and a gingerbread boy. Oh, and a penguin and an elf. That is so cute. Thank you so much for thinking of me, and I hope you have a very happy holiday season. And I think this box is the exact same thing, but it is for Grandma and Grandpa. So I will pass this on to them. Thank you very much, Janet. And here's another box. Let's see what's in this one. Oh, and this looks like a platter. It's very heavy. Look at that. It says the 12 days of Christmas, and then it has the numbers 1 through 12 and all the things that go along with those numbers. And then it has the same Christmas friends along the bottom that are on the pitcher. So it is a set. So the pitcher goes with the tray. That is awesome. Perfect for cookies and milk for Santa. This tray will hold a lot of cookies, and the pitcher will hold a lot of milk or hot chocolate or whatever kind of beverage goes along with whatever's on the tray. Thank you so much, Janet. These are adorable. I hope you've been doing well, and I hope you've been enjoying the videos, and thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for supporting the channel. We wish you a very Merry Christmas, a happy holiday season, and a wonderful new year also. It's 3:13 p.m. Look at what's going on down here. There are 3 cats laying in their beds. That's Ziggy on the left, Goldie in the middle, and Sammy on the right. The 2 torties and their tuxedo sister. They love these beds when the weather gets colder. So the other day when I came downstairs, and Sammy and Goldie were hunting the spider, not the fake spider, but the real spider. That's when I found out why Sammy likes to spend so much time down here. She used to spend a lot more time upstairs during the day, but as the weather has gotten colder, she spends more time down here. And I honestly think it's because she's spider hunting. Because when the weather gets colder, then the spiders want to come inside the house. And we get more spiders like in the fall than we do during other times of the year. So that's why Sammy and especially Goldie have been spending a lot of time down here, more so than usual, because they've been hunting. This is everything that I bought for the cats for their advent calendars. Every year I like to put together some sort of advent calendar for the cats. And last year they got canned food. They got canned Fancy Feast. And, you know, that's a treat for them. The problem is that Boo started getting a mouth ulcer from it. And I had no idea it was from the food at first, but when he got the mouth ulcer and his mouth was bleeding and I took him to the vet to find out what it was, then I did some research and I found out it could be coming from the Fancy Feast, from, I think it's their classic pate, because I only bought the cats the pate, but I found out online somebody else's cat had a mouth ulcer and she traced it back to that food. Once she took the cat off the food, the mouth ulcer went away. So once I took Boo off the Fancy Feast, the mouth ulcer went away. So I'm not doing that again. I have not purchased that food for the cats since then, and especially not for Boo. So this year I was thinking, well, what do they really like? Like, what is a really great treat for them that they love? And it is squeeze-ups and chew-roos. And this is something new that I just found online. These are tulips. And these are vitamin infused treats for cats and dogs. And if you've been watching the videos on this channel for quite a while, you might remember that in the past, I had said that I thought it would be a great idea if someone was able to take these kinds of squeezy treats and actually make them functional so that they have like herbs or medicine in them or vitamins for the cats. And it looks like someone did that. So they have 7 different flavors, and I guess each one has a different focus. So there's joints, skin, heart, kidneys, liver, eyes, and brain. And I looked at the ingredients online. They look pretty good. And then here we have the squeeze ups. I had to buy the large boxes because I need to make sure that I have 11 of each variety, 12 if I include Marty, which is grandma and grandpa's cat. Potentially even more than that if I include a few other family members. I don't know if I'm going to do that though. And then these just arrived. These are boxes of 120, but they have 4 different flavors in each box. So that gives me 30 of each flavor, which should be more than enough. Now, I never ever feed the cats cheese, but I figure it is a holiday, so they could have these, just because it's a holiday. So this gives me 8 different flavors of churros, 5 different flavors of squeeze ups because there's chicken in here and chicken in there. So that's a double. So it's really just 5. So 8 and 5 is 13 plus 7, which brings it up to 20. Then what I also got is some Temptations because these are another holiday treat for the cats. They don't get these all the time. They get these if like they're sick, and then they get these on holidays. So I got the seafood medley. I got the tasty chicken. I got the shrimpy shrimp. And I got the rockin' lobster. They tend to really like seafood treats. So I got them a lot of seafood because I know Boo absolutely loves lobster and all the cats love shrimp. And seafood medley, I don't think they've had this one. If they did it so long ago, I don't even remember. And chicken is always a favorite. Although the cats love Temptations treats, I'm not a fan of them. The biggest reason is because they include dried cheese as an ingredient. I don't want my cats having dairy products, not just because of the digestive issues, but because of all of the congestive issues. Dairy products cause massive congestion. I like to avoid cheese whenever possible for myself and also for the cats. So that is the biggest reason why I'm not a fan of Temptations. Also, they do include ground corn, not a fan of that, wheat flour, brewer's rice, dried meat byproducts. Definitely not the best ingredients, but the cats like them. So they have them on holidays and special occasions, and when they're sick and they don't want to eat anything else, at least they will eat these. So this brings me up to 24 days worth of treats, which should be enough. And then the 25th day is Christmas. So I'm going to space these out so it'll be on a schedule. So they're going to have like Temptations like once every 5 days or so. I don't know. I have to figure out the schedule. And then I'll like rotate the churros, the squeeze ups, the tulips, the Temptations, and then we'll go through all of the treats over the course of the 24 days leading up to Christmas. Now, what I'm hoping with regards to the squeezable treats is that maybe it'll help me make some progress with Goldie, because Goldie loves these squeezable treats. She loves any kind of like baby food, any kind of like liquid food like that. She really loves it. So maybe I'll be able to feed these to her from my hand or even from holding that liquid treat spoon that I ordered off of Amazon. Maybe that'll help. I don't know if this is going to help with Ringo or little Eva. I don't know if they'll eat these out of my hand. It would be great if they do. But if not, I could always put these like on a plate. Maybe they'll eat it that way or with their food. The most difficult part is to make sure that everyone gets theirs. Like Sammy doesn't eat treats that belong to the other cats, vice versa. With Boo, Stella, Splash, and Simba, they're all really good. They'll just like eat it out of my hand. They'll wait for their turn. But for the other ones, sometimes it could be hit and miss, and sometimes it could just be really challenging to give them their treats. So that is on the agenda for December with the cats. And I'm hoping they really enjoy all of these special treats. It's 10:49 a.m. Here's Simba. Good morning, Simba. And here's Boo. Good morning, Boo. It is maybe like 40 degrees out. I don't even know if it's that warm. But I went around the house and I opened all the windows just a little bit and I shut off the heat so the cats can get some nice fresh air. They've been home alone for the past 2 days and have all the windows locked when they're home alone. None of the windows are open, so they're enjoying some fresh air. Right, Boo? Here's Stella. She's already waiting for her breakfast. I have not fed the cats their breakfast this morning. The cats eat out of automatic feeders while I'm away, and the OG4 stay upstairs here. And these are their feeders. So these larger feeders contain 4 meals, and then the smaller feeders contain 2 snacks. The reason why I do it that way is so no one gorges and throws up, because I have found that if I give them smaller portions of the dry cat food, there's less of a chance of me coming home and finding piles of dry food cat vomit all over the house. And when cats eat the dry food, they don't really chew it. They don't have a jaw structure like a human where our teeth are on top of each other so we can grind. Like if we were eating crunchies, we could grind them in our teeth and pulverize them. Cats don't have jaws like that and they don't have teeth like that. So even though we might hear them crunching on the dry food, the vast majority of it they swallow whole. And when I come home, if they eat too much crunchies, I will literally find piles of whole intact crunchies that have been swallowed and then regurgitated. So that's why I have found that if I do it this way, so they get smaller meals, I don't have that problem nearly as much. And this is one of the feeders that I had set up downstairs. Now I have 2 trays with this feeder that I tape down to the floor. There's a tray on this side and a tray on that side. And the food gets dispensed out onto each tray. I already took the trays up and started cleaning. And then I said, let me film this because I want to show you what I did differently this time. And this is what I did differently. So this is a dry cat food feeder that I used when the Lucky 7 had just come in the house and they were living in Boo's room upstairs. They were much smaller than they are now. They were still growing kittens. And if I went away for an overnight trip or even just for a full long day, I wanted to make sure that they got plenty of food. So I had this full of dry cat food for them. Well, I haven't used it since then. And I took it out the other day when I was getting ready to leave. And I said, I'm going to put dry cat food in here just in case there's a malfunction with the other feeder, which is like an automatic motorized feeder. They'll just have some food in here and we'll see what happens. I fully expected this to be completely empty when I got home, and it's not. There's still plenty of food in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this here, and I want to see what happens when I leave this here. How long is the food going to last in this feeder until it's completely eaten? Here's Richard. But more importantly, I'm wondering how it will affect Nancy's behavior, because what I've noticed is with that food there in that feeder, she has not been pestering me nearly as much as she does when the food is not there. She did not want to come upstairs last night when I got home and I was unloading everything and, just going about my day. Here's Nancy now. She heard me talking about her. So usually at night, Nancy will want to come upstairs. Sometimes she meows at the door at like 4:30 a.m. because she wants to come upstairs, and she didn't do that. So I'm just curious to see if this will change her behavior. Maybe she has food insecurity issues from when they're outside and hunting for their food. Maybe just having the food there and available for her will change what she does. I don't know. This is going to be a test. The one big danger of having the food there at all times is that the Lucky 7 can gorge on it. Like Nancy could gorge on it. Maybe Nancy's going to gain even more weight than she has. So I don't know. Here's Richard. He's very tired. When I got back yesterday, all of the cats got some Thanksgiving turkey. I was away for Thanksgiving and I brought a bunch of leftovers home. So they all got some Thanksgiving turkey last night. And I'm just about to put some raw food together for their breakfast. I don't know if anyone's going to eat it because there's a whole bunch of crunchies in the automatic feeder when I got downstairs, even though I shut it off so it would not dispense them breakfast. I know the OG4 upstairs are very hungry right now because their feeders were turned off last night also because I didn't want the feeders to give them breakfast. So we'll see how it goes. And here's Nancy. Now she's playing with the toy. She's not pestering me for anything. There's Richard. Is he going to headbutt Nancy? Yep. Another thing I need to do is flea comb the cat. So I found some flea dirt on Simba today. Simba was itching this morning. I said, I better make sure I flea comb them. They haven't been combed in a few days. So I combed him, and I didn't really see any fleas, but I did find some flea dirt. So I got to make sure I comb these guys today too. Is Nancy going to go to the window? There she goes. I just gave the cats their raw food. They just had a little bit of playtime. Goldie's eating. Sammy's thinking about it. Nobody else is eating. This could be because of the dry food just being out. So I'm going to check back in about an hour, see if any of the food was eaten. Here's Nancy. She wants to go upstairs. She doesn't care about her food. So this is her typical behavior. This has not changed with the dry food out. Okay? Now, what Nancy will normally do is she'll go upstairs, walk around the house, run around the house, like do whatever she wants to do. And then when I'm in the kitchen cleaning up, then she comes and meows at me because she wants crunchies. So let's see if she does that today. All right, I'll open the door. Hold on. There's also this door here that leads to outside. Notice which door Nancy wants to go through. She doesn't want to go outside. It's about an hour later, and look what's going on here. I see 4 plates that are still pretty much full. No one ate the food on them, so I am going to grab a storage container and put that food in the fridge, and they're going to eat it later. And doing that has been working out really fine. Here's Sammy. Hey, Sammy. Sammy likes to hang out down here to see if there's any spiders, like real spiders that she can hunt. So Nancy has not pestered me for crunchies today. So that is a change of behavior for her, and I think it has to do with all these crunchies in this feeder here. I did notice that she was eating some leftovers that were on Boo's plate. Boo ate like 90% of his breakfast. There was a little bit left, and I saw Nancy finished it. But other than that, she did not bother me at all. And so far, Sammy has not bothered me either. Aside from the cats overeating on dry cat food, some of the reasons why I don't like to keep dry cat food available for them to munch on whenever they want is because I do use food as a training tool. There goes Sammy. And when they have food available at all times, you can't do that. If you want a cat to do something, the best way to get them to do that is to use food as a motivational tool. And they have no motivation to have food when food's always available. So I'm going to see how this affects that. The other reason I don't like having crunchies available at all times is because, as we can see here, they don't eat their raw food or their healthier food when crunchies are available all the time. So, hey, Sammy, you going to run? You going to run? You going to run? Run, Sammy, run. So we're going to see how this goes for the next day or so. I don't know how long it's going to take them to eat those crunchies, but we'll see if the pros outweigh the cons, or if the cons outweigh the pros, or if they balance out. How you doing, Sammy? You going to run? You going to take a walk? All right, a nice slow walk. That's good, Sammy. Yeah? Look at the surface of these like foam pads on this wheel. They're full. They're full of claw marks. Like it's all claw holes. What are you doing? Trying to get my finger? Gonna walk up to the finger? Good job, Sammy. Good job, Sammy. You're a good walker, Sammy. You gonna run? You gonna walk? It's 7:45 p.m. and I'm putting this artificial Christmas tree up. And what I have to do now is like go around to all the branches and like fluff them out. They're all compressed in the shipping box. And I have to fluff them out so they're more like real tree branches. I'm working from the bottom and I'm working my way up. It's 7:45 p.m. All the cats are sleeping. And once they start getting up, then I'm going to give them dinner. So I figure, let me do this while they're sleeping. And it's so weird to do this. After having a live tree for more than a decade, to have a fake tree and then to fluff out the branches, it's just so weird because it's just so fake. And when you get a real tree, it's actually like having a live tree in your house for at least a few weeks until it really starts like drying out. But the first few weeks, it's drinking a ton of water, and it's really like having a live tree in your house. And this is so different. It's such a different experience. I really don't know if I'm going to like this or not, but we're going to see. I'm going to continue fluffing out these branches, and this is time consuming, it's tedious, it's boring. And one of the things that I like so much better about a live tree is you don't have to do any of this. You just, bring it in, give it a chance to rest and relax its branches, and then you're good to go. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. It's almost 9:30 and the tree has been put up and the lights have been put on and it looks really good. And so far, none of the cats have gone near it, which is a little odd because they usually like to greet the Christmas tree when it comes in the door. And usually Simba likes to come and smash his face into the tree. I don't think they're going to smash their face into this tree because, it's not a natural tree. I don't even know if they're going to lay underneath it. I mean, they should, because when I was growing up, we always had an artificial tree and our cats laid under the tree, but it's definitely not the same feeling as having a real tree. But it looks really nice. And I think that I'm actually going to end up saving a lot of time from not having to water the tree and check on it and vacuum all of the fallen needles. I mean, it took some time to fluff out all the branches, but I think I'm getting all that time back by not having to maintain the tree on a daily basis. It's about 9:45 p.m. right now, and everyone's eating their dinner. They're having a few different types of canned food and a spoon of crunchies, and Nancy's the only one not eating. Her food's on the platter. Somebody ate some of the crunchies for dinner, it looks like, because a few hours ago that had more crunchies in it as far as the crunchy feeder over there goes. Here's Nancy. She just knocked this camper thing over. She's hanging out over here. So far, she seems pretty happy and content. And everyone else is enjoying their canned food. And there goes little Eva. She finished her plate, so she's going to eat what Nancy's not eating. I spoke too soon because Simba was just here smashing his face into the tree. I think Simba is going to like the tree. I think what's happening is because it's new, the cats are a little bit concerned about it. But I think that they'll get used to it, and hopefully no one's going to be climbing it. Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.